Hi guys, so I've actually lived in two of the most hyped destinations for entrepreneurs around the world that do typically move to these particular locations, and that is Dubai and Thailand. On paper they sound luxurious, perfect, XYZ, zero tax, zero capital gains, great lifestyle, everyone's doing it, but I've gone and left both of them. And if you're thinking about basing yourself in either, I'm about to tell you, you might want to change your mind, simply speaking, okay? So I'm Will Hodgson. I'm a co-founder of HPT Group. We co-founded HPT Group a few years ago, and we help entrepreneurs, business owners, high net worth individuals, ultra high net worth individuals structure their companies and their lives internationally, okay? Everything from offshore entities to banking advice to tax residency to asset protection. And I've personally worked with over 50 clients across dozens of jurisdictions, and I've made plenty of my own mistakes as well on the way with my own personal structuring, personal investments, XYZ. I've lived a pretty crazy journey for my age, I would like to say. And Dubai and Thailand were two of these mistakes, not because they're bad places to live, they're not. But how, it's because of a reality doesn't match the hype, essentially, is what I would say. So let me break both of these down, okay? So let's start with Dubai. When I think of Dubai, instantly we can say dreams versus reality, okay? And let's just simply start with Dubai solely. Zero income tax, world-class infrastructure. Everyone on YouTube is telling you it's the best place to move to, essentially speaking. And look, there are amazing benefits. Don't get me wrong, we have most of our clients actually do live in Dubai, or we literally move them to Dubai. And there's a lot that you don't actually get told, so that's why I'm sharing this message today. And again, if you do want to become a client, you can become so down below, hpt.group/apply, okay? So the first thing to understand is that Dubai is not cheap. I'm on about company formations, rent is expensive, usually paid up front as well. I paid quarterly when I was living in the building Marina Gate on the marina, very close to the Palm, and just the other side of, I think it's JBR, whatever it's called, there's JDC, JBR, Dubai, Marina, there's many places to live, right? Again, JBC, we typically see the wrong type of crowd there, usually from the UK. Other areas, they have their pros and benefits of all of them, right? Cost is just one of them, okay? But the first thing is Dubai is not cheap at all. So you might be looking at double your local expenses or triple your expenses. Again, there's many benefits of doing that. I didn't find it too expensive compared to London, Amsterdam, Switzerland, but again, it's very expensive, okay? Now, here's a bigger issue, is the substance problem. So everyone moves to Dubai, sets up a free zone company, Ajman, classic, okay? And they think they're done, okay? But the tax authorities in the UK, EU, Australia, wherever you've come from, are also watching. If your company's registered in Dubai, you're the only director, you're making all the economic decisions, and there's no real operations there, that's not substance. It's a brass plate, essentially speaking. If you're living in Dubai 6 months a year, it's completely different. But if you're just there for 3 or 2 months, that is a different story, right? And increasingly, home countries will start to be challenging this, and they already are, especially from Australia. Not so much the UK right now, but definitely we can see that pressure coming into play. So they're looking at where the decisions are being made, and how long you're spending in your home country as where you were an origin from, for example, XYZ. Now, how long you're spending there, where the choice has been made, where your clients, So you need to really generate genuine economic activity in the local area of your company. That's a rule of thumb, even with corporate structures. Yes, we might see certain entities as shell entities, but there is true substance somewhere that can then be relayed onto XYZ where it is needed. Okay, then there's banking. Dubai's banking system was absolutely bloody awful for me, without swearing. I moved £4,000 onto my Apple Pay account, and it took about 3.5 months, and then got refunded from my Swiss accounts, okay? Whether that was my Swiss banking problem or UAE banking problem in Abu Dhabi, I'm not too sure. I would also say Abu Dhabi is better than Dubai, okay? Especially if you're in the PE space, this space, XYZ. The compliance burden has really, really shot up again. They're really being pressured by OECD. And banks want to see local revenue, local clients, and proof that your business has genuine ties to the UAE. When I first moved to the UAE, you could essentially set up an account like that, just like Georgia right now. Now we cannot do that, okay? I've had clients rejected by UAE accounts who've gone and moved their accounts frozen for compliance reviews, endless documentation requests, XYZ, you've heard it all with Revolut, for example, before. I'm sure you've heard the stories. It is real. The stories are real. I can tell you that for a fact, okay? And don't get me started on the bureaucracy. Emirates ID renewals, visa processes, these business licenses, you know, the compliance. We're just setting up a wrap company for a client. It's taken literally a month. You know, this is ridiculous. It's really, really annoying. There's a hidden time cost to being based in Dubai that also nobody speaks about. Now, this is more personal, so obviously very subjective. The personal lifestyle there is not for me, okay? It's impressive. It's nice to look at, but guess what? I can go on my television right here, currently sat in Bali, and get a picture of the Dubai skyline. You know, I can get a picture of any skyline. It feels bloody same. You get quite used to it, you know? Everything is built for consumption there. You know, the heat, half a year, especially I was out in August recently, I'm going in 2 weeks as well, is unbearable unless you're moving between air-conditioned boxes, simply speaking, okay? The social scene is pretty transactional. Some people love it. I'm not saying it's objectively bad, but for me, the novelty kind of wore off and I didn't want to stay. I prefer Switzerland to Dubai 10 times over, or even Italy, you know, lump sum programs of rare, I'm sure I'll speak about in other videos, okay? When you combine that with the cost structuring limitations, it really stopped making sense for me. So, for me, I left Dubai. Now, I was also living in 2 locations at the same time. That was Dubai and Thailand. So I moved to Thailand actually before Dubai, pre-Dubai, for better lifestyle, more relaxed, and just general peace, working from a nice villa like I am right now. I'm sure you can imagine how this villa looks. Bloody gorgeous. And I'm paying a fraction of the cost here, and I'm not in Thailand. You'll probably realise where I am. Pop the video. Bali, the next Thailand, okay? And for a while, okay, Thailand did work with me. But the tax rules change in 2024. I've been trying to exit all 2025, and they don't even give me my bloody deposits back. I've got over $25,000 in villa deposits. Very annoying. They closed a loophole that a lot of expats relied on, including myself. Previously, if you earned money offshore, which I did, there was no CFC rules, and you waited until the following calendar year to bring it in, it wasn't taxable. That's gone away. Now any foreign income you remit into Thailand is taxable. If you don't remit it, it is still tax-free. But regardless, I don't like the way it's moving. From what I can see, they're simply moving Russian money. I was living in Phuket and there's 80% Russian everywhere, you know, and they're simply moving Russian money through cryptocurrency markets. That is what is going on. No one's speaking about it. You know, there's these nominee directors, there's this, you can't buy property there, it's in somebody else's name. I don't like that. I don't like the way it's heading. It certainly isn't. They're trying to join the OECD to increase investments into the country. They are not going to do that with what they're currently doing. They are basically not enforcing laws. You know, they're just letting it slide, essentially speaking. I love Russians. I love Russian people. I, you know, cannot work with Russians really unless they're living elsewhere. And again, there's way too many Russians for my liking. It's like if I moved to Thailand and it was full of English. You know, I'm not going to like it either. I like a diverse set of the expat scene. Dubai has this, but I also find that most of the entrepreneurs there are also probably most likely from India or somewhere like this, you know. In terms of people of my race, it's about 3 to 5% of the entire community in Dubai, just so you know that as well. So, the 180-day trap, I'm going to make another video on this, I think, because it deserves its entire video by itself. But if you spend more than half a year in Thailand, you are a tax resident, no exceptions, okay? This is for no special rules, no clarity. Unlike the UAE or Malaysia, there's no framework that actually protects you, if that makes sense. You can't point to a ruling that says income, you know, offshore income is safe. The rules are constantly changing, and again, that is an emerging market. So I guess that's one of the, you know, a huge drawback. But again, there's no corporate value. Thailand offers no, it's not good in presence. On my LinkedIn, you'll see Hong Kong, but it's not good in presence, right? You know, simply speaking, there's no regional headquarter benefits for most entrepreneurs. Yeah, like, as I said, you've got to use nominee directors. You can't own the company. It's not like that, you know, especially with nominee shareholders. This is even scarier, right? If it's a service that you've employed, but fair enough. But Thailand, coming from a Western country, I really don't like that angle of it as well. So you can't really use Thailand as part of your bloody structure. You can in Dubai. So it doesn't add real substance. That's why I was living in both of them. Now, banking and visas are a nightmare. The banks are awful. As a foreigner, they don't like your offshore companies as well. I was limited to like 60,000 baht deposits, which is literally like just ridiculous, you know. So it took me a while to even get, $10,000 into a Dubai account, okay? So Thailand has no proper entrepreneur visa. There's a DTV, which is the digital nomad, and the LTR. They have the golden visas, which is the cards. I had a six-year visa, and I first moved there because of COVID, right? I was in Dubai, Mexico. I was just going between the regulations. I refused to be locked in my house, as I'm sure that you probably agree, right? So you're always essentially one rule away from everything, if that makes sense, changing. That's really what I felt there. It's not stable. It's not a stable economy. It's actually the worst it's ever been in 20 years. So where am I right now? What have I done? I have changed to Hong Kong and Bali, spending less than 6 months a year in Bali as well. Now, Bali and Indonesia itself, I was in Lombok recently, the Gili Islands, beautiful islands, right? Currently in Bali, in Canggu. I was seeing some clients. He's actually just gone and left Dubai, and he's very interesting, a really, really nice guy, a true inspiration. Listening to him as general conversations, he's a pretty successful entrepreneur, one of our top 15 clients. But he's just left Dubai. He came on vacation the same as I did. I had another business meeting 8 months ago in Bali, and we loved it. Me and my girlfriend, we absolutely loved it. So he had the same thing. He came, he was like, I'm not fucking leaving, simply speaking. When you're comparing the lifestyle to Dubai, you've got everything on tap. You just sit in your villa and relax. Again, the traffic is awful. But yes, so what have I gone and done? I've been to Hong Kong. All my operational companies are now in Hong Kong, apart from my Canadian MSB, which is my fintech. Hong Kong is a bigger play. It's a genuine, real, great substance. Probably the most expensive city, on the top 2 most expensive cities in the world. It's the genuine tax system that works great. So it's a territorial tax system. If your income is based outside of Hong Kong, it is not taxable there, which is great for me. My largest business is the fintech, where income is coming from Canada. So proper banking and infrastructure actually works. International banking is fantastic there, okay? And credibility when you're dealing with clients. It's a much more credible place, as you've seen on my LinkedIn. Yes, I'm in Bali now, but Hong Kong is my presence. I have my substance there. I have everything there. Yes, there's now questions of, okay, where you're making your choices from. Is it Hong Kong? Now it's local sourced income. There are a few questions like this, but I have the restructuring in place to get past those burdens, right? So if this sounds very familiar to you, you've had similar problems, you're in places like me, just jump on a call. You can apply to become a client down below. At HPT Group, we work with entrepreneurs, business owners to build structures that basically make sense and work, if that makes sense. The right jurisdictions, the right levels of asset protection, proper banking, and the tax position that you can clearly defend, okay? We're very selective actually who we work with in the past year because we've had so much demand. But if you're serious about getting this right, there's a link in the description. The first link, feel free to click it and you can apply to become a client. Now, thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. I've got a list of videos I'm going to film today, and I've got some really good messages to share with you guys. So stay tuned, and if you haven't gone and subscribed, liked, comment, whatever you do on this YouTube, then go ahead and do so. Cheerio. See you later. Bye-bye.